I hated high school. Teenagers are horrible, dirty, self-absorbed, lustful creatures who only care about one thing, themselves. But Japan has found a way to take something that we all hate and turn it into something that we all love, and in doing so, create an entire subculture firmly rooted in the core of Japanese culture. Japan, more than any other country, has a very unhealthy obsession with schoolgirls. They're featured prominently in anime, in video games, TV series, movies. It's why so many Japanese RPGs and anime feature teenagers. Blue Archive is no exception to this rule, and has players, you, me, take on the role of a teacher referred to as sensei at the Academy of Kivatos.
Sensei kawaisou?
Yes, this actually takes a very perverse turn almost immediately, especially when you see how all of the schoolgirls react and subsequently interact with you. But we've all seen more than enough hentai to know where this is going, right? Hey, my name is Stix and welcome back to another episode of Worst Gacha Ever. The purpose of the Worst Gacha Ever series isn't solely to criticize, nor is it to praise a game unconditionally. Rather, this video series exists as a means with which to both critique and to complement various facets of a gacha game that I experienced over a set period of time, sometimes days, sometimes months. If you enjoy this series, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification because YouTube told me that if you don't, well, you're not getting a passing grade this year, and the girls in this school hate losers. Oh, and make sure to check out the last episode in this series at the end of the video. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of the absolute chads and chadettes that support this channel via Patreon. You're all freaking legends. Seriously, each and every single one of you. I would offer to give each of you a kiss, but I suffer from severe intimacy issues. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest MMO, gacha, and gaming news, take a second here to follow Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. We tweet daily. Now, Blue Archive is an anime RPG featuring an interesting type of combat that has players form and mobilize units of up to 6 members, comprised of different smokingly hot waifus, only waifus, no husbandos. All the males have seemingly gone extinct for whatever reason, as seems to be the case in many gacha games, and luckily for you and me, we're the only ones available to act as, well, the only responsible adult. I know. Stix a responsible adult? Wait, what? Yeah, a certain level of suspension of disbelief is necessary in video games. Relax. Honestly, a lot of the waifus I unlocked don't look like they belong in this academy. Like, just take a look at Hibiki here, or Hanae, or Hasumi, Asuna, Hanako, Pina. Guys, I can keep going, no joke. I have so many waifus recruited that look like they're old enough to be the parents of some of the other girls. It's no wonder why this game is popular, right? I couldn't imagine if Blue Archive employed live 3D models, especially when some of the waifus wield 2 weapons of mass destruction. After being recruited by the school, you're forced to respond to incredibly needy schoolgirls all day, talking about how fat the other girls are, what kind of ice cream is best, how to murder their competition for your affection. Seriously, these girls get crazy, and God forbid you don't reply. They start stalking you as you make your way back to your dorm. You hear noises outside your room at night, begin to notice things have gone missing from your desk, altars erected dedicated to you in their lockers. If you manage to somehow calm your new harem, you'll find that the game is ultimately a very traditional chapter-based RPG. I cleared up until chapter 4 over roughly a month ago. Roughly about a month and a half ago. Playing through as many gacha games as I have been recently, I've learned to prioritize the games that I'm enjoying more than those that I'm not. And Blue Archive is a game that just takes a lot of time. Every chapter has a set number of missions. Some missions have sub-missions consisting of a single battle, while others have several part battles where you deploy your units onto a small linear chest-like grid, and then you defeat several enemies before engaging a stronger boss monster. During battle itself, your waifus maneuver around various types of cover as they mow down groups of enemies. Each waifu has their own weapon type: handguns, assault rifles, machine guns, shotguns, submachine guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, rail guns, mortars. Wait, are we sure this isn't an American gacha game? I can't be the only one thinking this would be a perfect fit for America. Regardless, each waifu has their own weapon type and unique abilities specific to them, making it of the utmost importance for you to balance your team and subsequently your playstyle. Going in with 4 assault rifles is not going to accomplish anything unless you go in with Hibiki, Hanae, Hasumi, Asuna, Hanako, and Pina. In which case, I don't really think anyone's going to care, let alone be paying enough attention to anything going on other than their charming personalities. I will note that I did opt to play a little differently to most people, and I'm sure I'm going to get called out for doing this. Instead of pulling new waifus with the premium currency, I was happy with who I had, thus I'd save it up, I'd max out my stamina, and then I'd start a sweep of the latest mission that I completed, which equated to roughly 99 instances at once. This would level me up, increasing the cap on my waifus, allowing for me to level them up faster, which in turn made the game easier, and given how arduously slow this game is, I preferred being significantly more powerful than my enemies. Thankfully, doing regular sweeps on that scale provided a surplus of XP items with which to level my loyal harem. You also have a set of gear to both level and upgrade, equipable by each waifu along with skills. And I know you're looking at each of my waifus, thinking to yourself, Stix, every waifu has level 1 abilities. What the f are you doing? And you know what, I wanted to be fair. I knew if I leveled any of them, the other girls would likely come for their head. Is that the kind of future that I wanted for them? No. I'm a benevolent, generous sensei. If one girl gets upgraded, they all get upgraded. That way, they each work on their unique skill sets together. After training your harem, clearing missions and chapters, and dodging text messages all day, you can retire to the local cafe, which admittedly looks a whole lot like a room, with a single table, a chair, and a bookshelf all the way over there. I would wager, I guess, either Japan has a warped view of what a cafe is, or this cafe was a ploy to get me alone in a room with the promise of donuts, beignets, and other delectable baked goods. How did they know my weakness? Admittedly, now I'm kinda scared. Yet at the same time, I feel this weird obligation to make improvements to the cafe. Although I'm poor and I have nothing to really donate in terms of furniture. There's also a crafting feature in game, but I hate crafting, so I never used it. There's a story, main story, sub-story. The main story details our investigation into the disappearance of the student council president. Sub-stories are about your waifus' daily lives. Be warned, the more you learn about them, the scarier they become. And the more time you spend with them, the more they ultimately want from you. I did notice that chapters are locked behind main story progression. I couldn't start chapter 4 until I had completed chapter 1, episode 10 of the story. The story really isn't anything special. I may have skipped some of it, but that's because there's only so much school drama I can take, There's a reason that I refuse to watch drama and slice of life anime. I prefer things like Blue Exorcist, like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Code Geass, Death Note. Honestly, Blue Archive is a great gacha game if you're interested in having an army of insanely hot schoolgirls willing to do anything you want them to do. If you're into a little suspense, drama, intrigue, it really isn't any better or worse than half the other traditional anime RPGs out there. It definitely has some incredible looking waifus. Although I'm not overly fond of the chibi models that are used in combat, I prefer my waifus to be full-sized. Would I play this full-time? No, Blue Archive definitely is not my type of game, but I understand why so many people do enjoy it nonetheless. It's fun just not fun enough to warrant the replacement of something that requires more strategy, more skill, like Arknights, or that has better, more fun, enthralling, entertaining combat, as good as Punishing Grey Raven, the two gachas that I am playing currently. Now, if you're looking for the previous episode in the Worst Gacha Ever series, you can find that via this video right here, or if you're looking for a list of the most populated gacha games right now, then this video over here.